Growing up, I always admired my father. He was the strong, silent type, the kind who believed in hard work, discipline, and never showing weakness. But as I got older, I began to realize that there was one thing he didn't understand: me. My father's expectations were high. He expected me to follow his path, his rules, and to succeed the way he did. But what he didn't know was that I was hiding something that was eating away at me. I had begun a relationship with someone I didn't approve of, someone who wasn't part of my father's world. At first, I thought it was just a phase, something that could be easily ignored. But as time passed, the connection grew deeper. He wasn't just a friend or a fling. He was someone I cared about, someone who understood me when no one else did. And yet, I couldn't bring myself to tell my father. It wasn't that I feared he would disapprove, though I knew he would, but because I knew he would never understand. The world of emotions, relationships, and vulnerability were things my father had never been comfortable with. So, I kept quiet. I kept it all hidden. One evening, I came home early from seeing him. I felt a strange sense of guilt, like something was about to change. That night, my father sat me down. His voice was calm, but there was an edge to it, something I hadn't noticed before. "What's been going on with you lately?" he asked. I could see the concern in his eyes, but also a hint of suspicion. He had always been perceptive, but never prying. I couldn't lie to him anymore. I wanted to tell him everything: the relationship, the pain I had kept hidden, the confusion I felt. But before I could speak, my father, with a disappointed tone, said something that hit me hard. "I never wanted you to make the same mistakes I did. Don't let your emotions cloud your judgment." It was then that I realized the depth of my father's wisdom, but also his blindness. He didn't understand the complexities of love, of infidelity, or the reasons behind the choices I made. It wasn't about right or wrong, it was about connection. But I couldn't tell him that. Instead, I buried my truth deeper inside, knowing I had just crossed an unspoken line between us. Days turned into weeks, and the tension between my father and me grew. I could feel it every time we spoke, every time he looked at me. There was no judgment, no anger, just a quiet disappointment. I began questioning everything about my relationship. Was it worth hiding? Was I betraying my father's trust? I tried to convince myself that the relationship wasn't based on infidelity, that it was different. But it didn't feel different. It felt like I was lying to everyone, including myself. I couldn't escape the conflict inside me. On one hand, I wanted my father's approval, but on the other, I couldn't deny the feelings I had for someone else. The emotional bond one shared with him was something I couldn't easily explain. It wasn't like the love my father had for my mother. It was something entirely different, something messy and complicated. I couldn't talk about it, but I couldn't forget it either. The weight of my secret was crushing me. I felt trapped in a situation where neither choice, coming clean or keeping quiet, seemed right. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that the real betrayal wasn't about infidelity. It was about not being honest with myself, not confronting the parts of me that I had always been afraid to acknowledge. The truth finally came out in a way I never expected. It was an accidental revelation. One evening, I had forgotten to turn off my phone's location sharing. My father, curious about where I had been, checked it, only to find the name of a place he didn't recognize. His suspicions were confirmed. He didn't ask questions, but the look on his face told me everything I needed to know. That night, we had a conversation, a real conversation. For the first time, my father didn't lecture me or judge me. He listened. I told him about the relationship, about the feelings I had kept hidden for so long. He didn't understand it at first, but he didn't dismiss it either. For the first time, he saw me as more than just his child. He saw me as a person, struggling with emotions and decisions that were difficult to navigate. In the end, my father didn't approve of the relationship, but he didn't condemn me either. He simply asked me to be true to myself. "You don't have to make the same mistakes I made," he said, "but you have to learn from them." The burden I had been carrying for so long finally lifted. I knew that my father would never completely understand, but he had given me the one thing I had been searching for all along: acceptance.